Welcome back to the Rules Plus podcast. I've been considering the rules dyad free kicks versus scrimmage kicks for 3 episodes now, an indication of how complicated and vexing it is to officiate the kicking game. I closed last week with the promise, or perhaps I should say the threat, that I'd close out this lengthy consideration of these sibling kick plays by considering 4 remaining types of downs. Downs with fouls by Team A, downs with fouls by Team B, downs with fouls by both teams, and downs with running plays by both teams. I will also address the special case of change of possession during overtime. In next week's episode, I'll move on to covering the rules dyad of field goal versus try for point, and possibly field goal versus punt. So let's get started. 1. Downs with fouls by Team A. The 2 types of kick plays share an interesting, relatively recent twist to fouls by Team A. Except for kick-catch interference, Team B may choose to have the penalty for any such foul enforced at the previous spot with the down repeated, or at the spot where the subsequent dead ball belongs to Team B. This option applies if the foul was during a free kick play, 6-1-8, or during a scrimmage kick play, 6-3-13, except for field goal attempts, and in cases when the scrimmage kick doesn't cross the neutral zone. It's important to note that the foul must have occurred during the kick play portion of the down, not during any subsequent run or runs during the down. The result is that now virtually every foul committed by Team A during a kick play will be penalized. It's difficult to imagine a scenario in which Team B would decline a penalty. It gets the best of both worlds, one in which Team A retains possession but loses penalty yardage, and one in which Team B retains possession if it has enjoyed a good return and also gains penalty yardage. However, don't assume accepting the penalty for a Team A foul during a kick play is always to Team B's advantage. If Team A has committed a violation for illegal touching of a free kick in the 10 yards between the restraining lines, or for illegal touching of a scrimmage kick that has crossed the neutral zone, accepting a penalty against Team A would cancel Team B's privilege to take the ball at the spot of illegal touching. That's in 6-1-3 and 6-3-2. So, depending on how much yardage Team B gains during the kick return, it may be better off exercising its privilege to take the ball at the spot of Team A's violation. But, of course, football is rarely that simple. In situations where Team B also fouls during the down, things get interesting, and one important difference between free kicks and scrimmage kicks comes into play. Usually, when there are live ball fouls by both teams, the fouls offset and there's a do-over. But if there's a change in possession during a down, there are complications. The team that last gains possession by the end of the down may refuse offsetting fouls and retain possession after completion of the penalty for its foul if it had not fouled before the change of possession. You can find that out in 10.1.4, exception 1. This is the so-called clean hands rule. Determining when the fouls occurred means determining during which play during the down the foul occurred. In a typical kick play, there will be 2 plays, the kick play followed by a run play. You would think that Team A has possession during the free or scrimmage kick until Team B catches or recovers the ball. Then Team B would have possession during the run play. But the important difference between free and scrimmage kicks is when possession is considered to have changed. Team possession is defined in 241B as including the time when its player is attempting a punt, drop kick, or place kick. A loose ball is defined in 213A2 as a live ball during a scrimmage or free kick before possession is gained or regained. And finally, team possession is said in 241B3 to continue during a loose ball if a player of that team last had player possession. Therefore, during a free kick, Team A remains in possession until Team B gains possession. Presumably, the same is true for Team A during a scrimmage kick. But here, the Rules Committee long ago decided to engage in a bit of sleight of hand and a bit of rules magic. The concept of post-scrimmage kick enforcement provides that once the ball becomes loose by means of a legal scrimmage kick that crosses the neutral zone, quote, fouls by Team B are treated as if Team B had been in possession at the time the foul was committed, even though, by Rule 241B3, team possession had not changed. End quote. That's all in 10.2.3b. So that means that Team B is in possession once the punt is away, and so a foul by Team B during the punt would not be covered by the clean hands rule, right? Well, no. Remember the language of 10.2.3b. Fouls by Team B are treated as if Team B were in possession. In the case of possible offsetting fouls, the clean hands principle does indeed apply even during scrimmage kicks. Included as an exception to Rule 10.1.4, the rules book instructs that, quote, when all Team B fouls that occur before possession changes are governed by post-scrimmage kick rules, Team B may refuse offsetting fouls and accept post-scrimmage kick enforcement, end quote. I can assure you from experience that in such situations when a team kicks the ball away or turns it over with fouls by both teams, it can be very difficult to explain to the Team A coach why Team B can keep the ball. At least, however, it helps a little when you can give the Team A coach a consolation prize of enforcing the penalty against Team B. But remember this, too. Any foul may be declined. In the unlikely case that Team A wishes to decline the penalty against Team B, it certainly may do so. Just because Team B's plea deal meant that it was willing to accept the penalty for its foul, that doesn't mean that Team A is obligated to choose to accept the penalty against Team B. Consider this plausible scenario. Late in a tie game, Team B intercepts a pass and returns it to the A2 yard line, where the returner is pushed out of bounds with 2 seconds left in the game. Team A had an illegal formation, and Team B blocked below the waist at the A4 yard line during the return. Team B will certainly refuse offsetting fouls, so before its penalty is enforced, it will snap the ball at the 2-yard line with an extreme angle from the right hash mark. With the penalty yardage assessed, Team B would be kicking from the 14-yard line with a less extreme angle. It's certainly conceivable that the Team A coach might choose to decline the penalty and make Team B attempt a field goal with the more extreme angle. The bottom line here is this. Fouls by Team A during kicks are treated in a uniform fashion regardless of the type of kick. In the case of multiple fouls that may offset, be careful not to let post-scrimmage kick considerations complicate or cloud your thinking. And finally, remember that field goal attempts, try downs, and overtime downs are special cases with special provisions. I'll talk about those very soon in the coming episodes for dissecting the dyads field goal versus try and field goal versus punt. Next, let's talk about situation 2, downs with fouls by Team B. I just talked about the glaring difference between the way fouls by Team B are handled during free kick and scrimmage kick downs. Without post scrimmage kick enforcement, virtually any fouls by Team B during the free kick would call for previous spot enforcement. And even with post scrimmage kick enforcement, there are three oddball differences to note. 1. Illegal block or contact after a fair catch signal. 6-5-4. A Team B player who has made a valid or invalid fair catch signal and does not touch the ball may not block an opponent during that down. Notice that the penalty is 10 yards, unless the action is deemed to be a personal foul. And during a free kick, it's a spot foul, and during a scrimmage kick, it's a post-scrimmage kick foul. Because when it's possessed, the ball becomes dead due to the fair catch signal, such an illegal block occurs during the kick, because there can be no running play during the down. Yet the enforcement spot when the foul occurs during a free kick is specified in the penalty, so neither the previous spot nor a basic spot is involved in enforcement. 2. Defensive positioning on a scrimmage kick play. 6-3-14. There are two types of restrictions on how defensive players may line up when Team A is in a scrimmage kick formation. Any defender within 1 yard of the neutral zone must be aligned completely outside the frame of the body of the snapper at the snap. And it is illegal for 3 defenders on the neutral zone inside the blocking zone to align and move forward shoulder to shoulder with primary contact against a single Team A player. These are both live ball fouls of 5 yards, not 15 yards, from the previous spot. 3. Fouls against the kicker, 6-1-9. During a free kick, no one may block the kicker until he has advanced 5 yards beyond his restraining line or the kick has touched a player, an official, or the ground. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. And while this section is about Team B fouls, this seems an appropriate moment to remind you of another oddity. A foul by a Team A player for blocking before Team A is eligible to touch the ball is 5 yards, not 10 and not 15. Of course, if the block constitutes a personal foul with or without targeting, the penalty would be 15 yards. But an otherwise legal block that happens too early is treated as a procedural foul of 5 yards. Moving on to situations actually 3 and 4 together, that is, downs with fouls and runs by both teams. To complete the discussion of possible offsetting fouls and the so-called clean hands rule, I'll address briefly the troublesome special cases of kick plays during overtime, field goal or try attempts in overtime. I'll save for the next 2 episodes going into great detail for the 2 remaining kick play dyads, field goal versus try and field goal versus punt, during ordinary regulation time. Because during overtime, actually the NCAA refers to this as extra periods, each team is guaranteed a possession under highly restrictive and scripted circumstances. Any change of possession presents a problem. There are only 2 possible ways for a team's possession series, as the NCAA calls it, to end. Either the team scores or it fails to make a first down. 3-1-3-E. The ball does remain live after a turnover until it is declared dead. But when Team B gains possession or when Team A regains possession, the allotted so-called possession series for Team A will end, as just stated, when the team scores or it fails to make a first down. But here's the thing. The rule also provides that Team A may not have a first down if it regains possession after a change of team possession, 313E, and Team B is entitled to a number of possession series equal to the number that Team A receives, unless Team B scores other than on the try, 313F. Once there's a turnover, Team A's possession series is over because either it will score or it cannot make a first down. The prohibition against Team A making a first down may initially seem odd or arbitrary, but actually it's consistent with the philosophy of a possession series being a one and done opportunity. Consider this. What happens during regulation time once Team A turns the ball over? Suppose Team A had 3rd and 6 at the A34. 32 takes a handoff, gains 3 yards, and fumbles. Player B48 recovers the fumble at the A44, runs to the A37, and fumbles the ball back to A68, who is grounded at the A37. The result of the play is that Team A will next put the ball in play, but short of the line to gain. Are you going to have 4th and 3 at the A37? I expect you know better. We're going to stop the clock to award a first down to Team A and start the clock on the ready. Why are we going to do this? Because Team A has been awarded a new series of downs. Quote, a new series shall be awarded to the team in legal possession when the ball is declared dead if a change of possession occurs during the down. End quote. That's in Rule 511E1. During extra periods, there's only one possession series per customer. So even if Team A regains possession during a down, it is ineligible to be awarded a new possession series. In the case of Team B, if the down ends with the ball in its possession, it has not yet had its possession series. So unless Team B scores, it's now awarded its promised equal number of possession series. The result is that major exceptions are necessary in extra periods for enforcing fouls when a down includes a change or changes in team possession. There are 3 cases, and you should commit to memory the precise language used to guide you in properly handling the situation and to help you credibly explain the situation to likely baffled coaches and spectators if you have a referee's microphone. Here's what happens after a change of team possession. This is in 313G. 1. Penalties against either team are declined by rule. 2. A score by a team committing a foul during the down is canceled. 3. If both teams foul during the down and Team B had not fouled before the change of possession, the fouls cancel and the down is not repeated. There are exceptions in 4 cases: flagrant personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, dead ball personal fouls, and live ball fouls treated as dead ball fouls. And it should make sense to you as well that post-scrimmage kick enforcement does not apply in an extra period. So, what more can be said? Well, actually, during Monday's Rules Plus study session on Zoom, we enjoyed extensive discussion of a free kick play from the Vanderbilt Hawaii season opener for both teams. Time doesn't permit recounting the discussion now, so let me leave you with the play scenario to think about over the next week. As with most kick plays, it seems pretty simple. Here it is. Team A's onside kick is driven into the ground immediately and after one bounce then goes high in the air. From out of bounds, A22 leaps and possesses the ball at the B49, where B34 was in position to catch the kick. A22 is downed immediately in bounds. We considered these two questions. 1. How many fouls occurred during the play, if any? And 2. What is the ruling? That is, how will the next play set up? And I have one more business item. I should explain the lengthy musical interlude in last week's episode. You'll recall that I posed 4 scenarios for your consideration concerning where the ball should be located laterally after unsuccessful field goals and after a try during which there was a foul by Team B. Instead of a tuneful 30 to 60 seconds of an eponymously titled smooth jazz ballad, You Took Advantage of Me, as I intended, you got the full 3.5 minutes of crooning because I'm still learning the ropes with my podcast production platform, Spotify for Podcasters, a platform, by the way, that I recommend highly. I thought about switching that tune out, but I decided to keep this serendipitous interlude in case some of you, well, maybe even a few of you, enjoyed it. If you're looking to add it to your playlist of mellow date music for boomers, the artist is Rachel Price. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope you'll be sticking to listening regularly to this podcast. I'm learning a lot about football rules and, well, about producing podcasts. Remember, if you'd like to learn a lot about the Austin Football Officials Association, email us at recruiting@afoa.ws, visit our website at www.austinfootballofficials.org, or call us at 512-298-2987. Till next time, have a great week.